The 7:30 Project, day 19. I am exhausted. I had another day where I feel like I was just going constantly. I decided to make a meal for my family that is a favorite for 3 out of the 4 of us. And our young one won't touch it, but it's a little bit involved. It's it takes a little while to make, and that's fine. But then there's cleanup afterwards, and the thing is, lately, and I think part of it is since starting this project, I get up in the morning with our youngest and make sure that he's getting breakfast and ready for school and that sort of thing. And when I'm doing that, I'm unloading the dishwasher, I'm reloading the dishwasher. Part of it is we're still moving in dishes and glassware from the last place that we lived, and as a kind of neurotic thing for me, I want to wash everything again in the dishwasher and sanitize it. So I'm doing that process. And let me be clear, unloading the dishwasher, I don't know why, but unloading the dishwasher is one of my least favorite things to do. It just annoys me or something. So usually my partner handles that, but I've just been, I'm like, okay, I'm showing up, I'm gonna go. And that's fine, but then after dinner tonight, I hit a wall. And I don't know, I started having some joint pain again and just feeling completely and totally drained. And I don't know if that means fibromyalgia is flaring up or what's going on. And I mean, I feel good about the things I've been accomplishing, but it's, man, it's a lot of work, and I'm not at the place that I want to be at. I'm still working towards that, but it's all of this everyday life stuff is kind of taking precedence right now. So I haven't played music today, which, as I mentioned yesterday, is something that really helps. Maybe I didn't mention this, I don't know. When I am playing music for myself, it helps me order my thoughts. It helps me regulate my emotions. Excuse me. I told you I hit a wall. And you know what? It's not even that late. Sometimes I record these videos pretty late in the evening or maybe even early morning. It's not even that late. And even, I put some music on when our youngest was going to sleep, and I'm sitting at the table because he fell asleep in the living room. Sitting at the table and I'm drumming on the table to the music that's going on. I turned to my daughter and I said, I can tell that I haven't drummed for a while because my micro timing is way off. I'm just out of sync. So there's that. Heard back from technical support for the video editing app that I'm using, and it's never a good sign when the first part of the response is, yeah, I'm not really sure why what is happening. Maybe it's a bug or something, so let's try to figure this out. If they had a quick answer, it's oh yeah, all you gotta do is this and it'll be fine. That would be one thing, but when we gotta dig down into it, I get a little nervous. So I'm still hung up with the perfectionism, and that day 12 video, I'm really wanting to post that next because that's the next one in line, and maybe part of this lesson for me is stop being a perfectionist, post the other videos that you've got and throw day 12 in there whenever you get the problem sorted out, right? Maybe that's what I'll end up doing. I don't know. But then I'm also getting another error message because I tried to save these videos to my photos library and I'm getting an error all of a sudden that I wasn't getting before. And yes, I am running iOS 13 beta right now. And I know beta versions of software can sometimes be glitchy with things, and software developers, app developers can't plan for all of those contingencies up front. I get that. But things are happening that were not happening when I first started using the app. So I'm taking deep breaths. I'm continuing to gather information about health. I don't want to say supplements, but I started listening to the Model Health podcast, which so far has been amazing. And I actually found out about the Model Health podcast from listening to the Mind Valley podcast. But little things like drinking the four sigmatic coffee blends, which are made from mushrooms, I believe. But then the person today was talking about they have emulsified MCT oils that in essence are creamers for these coffee, and the medium chain triglycerides are supposed to be really good for your cell health, I think. Anyway, there's all these things that I'm like, oh yeah, I want to adopt this and I want to adopt that, and I want to start eating better. And actually the meal that I prepared tonight is a combination of things that some of it is traditional Venezuelan, some of it is not. But the traditional Venezuelan part, so I made arepas, and it's the way I describe it to people that aren't familiar with it is that it's kind of like an English muffin made out of pre-cooked cornmeal, which sounds a little strange, but they're delicious, right? And it's gluten-free, which is something we need for someone in our family. And actually, a member of my family is half Venezuelan, so this is something that I learned to cook from that tradition. And then black beans in somewhat a Venezuelan style, and then a cabbage dish that I kind of threw together this recipe a few years ago, and my family loved it, and so at least my live-in family loves it. And so, but the arepas, the way we have been eating them, is to put them in the oven with some queso blanco, in this case we're using Mexican white cheese, a couple of different kinds, and put a little butter down before you put the cheese on, and then melt the cheese, and then eat it with a knife and fork. And it's absolutely delicious, but I realized tonight, and when I got done eating, I was not mindful when I was eating because I've been stressed out and I'm feeling, I think I was starting to feel tired at that point. So I wasn't really mindful when I was eating. I'm just like, hey, I'm cramming the food in. It's like, oh yeah, I did pretty good with the flavor combinations tonight and that sort of thing. And I got done eating and it just hit me like a brick, like in my gut. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was too much. And I just feel like a slug right now, and I should have eaten half of my arepa and the cabbage and the beans. And it's like I'm wanting to eat healthier, and I need to for my health, right? Maybe I'll go into the specifics of my type 2 diabetes in another video, but I need to eat healthy for my health, not like, it's not like an abstract thing. This is like very concrete, and I'm collecting data that shows how I'm doing with that, like blood sugar numbers, things like that, and then periodically doing the blood work to see what my triglyceride levels are, what's going on in my body. But listening to Mind Valley and the Model Health podcast is just encouraging that even more. It's like, okay, I've done pretty well with things. Now I want to take it to the next level, because I know it's cliche, a lot of people say it, but if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And it's so completely true. I know when I eat better, I feel better. The fibromyalgia doesn't act up as much, except maybe today. See how I feel in the morning, we'll see. But it reminds me of something that I learned when I started working at a small hospital as a music therapist. It was a reminder to the new employees that if you don't take care of yourself, you won't be taking care of anyone else. So people that are in helping type professions like music therapists, if you don't pay attention to your own health, then, because we get into these professions because we want to help people, we want to be of service. And if I don't take care of my physical health, if I don't take care of my mental and emotional health as well, but if I don't take care of my health, then I'm not going to be available. I'm not going to be able to hold space. I'm not going to be able to share my gifts with the world in the best way that I know how. And with all ego aside, that means that the whole of humanity is missing out on something unique and something special. And I say that without ego because everybody has those unique and special gifts to share with the world. Not necessarily with music, maybe it's in other things. And it doesn't really matter what our gifts are as long as we figure out what we're supposed to do with them and then share them. I feel like I'm rambling a bit now, which I have a tendency to do. Just ask my wife. So with that, I think I'm going to wind down and get some sleep and try to take care of this health. And I will be back and maybe even have some videos posted by day 20.